Good evening, folks. I hope, it's going to be a pretty quick tutorial just to show you how quick the setup is for such a advanced system. I'm going to take the Tempest combat framework, highly customizable combat system, uses gameplay tags and a lot of the newer features, and combine it with their latest release that is a standalone product, but works extremely well with Tempest, obviously. Is their inventory system. Like I said, this can be used for any other system. I'm showing you with Tempest how easy it is to pretty much set up. And we're going to set them up with the basic locomotion system. This is a wee handy locomotion system because it's not bogged down with hundreds of blueprints of all sorts of different movement systems that some of them you might not even use. But it's got the core basics in of what you'd need. So let's get started. A couple of things I did just to save time. But the first was I took copy and pasted the sockets we'll need from the Tempest combat skeleton onto the locomotion skeleton. Just the weapon sockets, equipping and unequipping and such. We close those too. Just any of the sockets from the Tempest combat. Copy over to the locomotion one. And before we show the blueprints, we'll show you the wee locomotion system itself here. As you can see, it's got the wee orientation warp here. Slowing and stopping and starting. Foot IK. Crouching. Oh, kit and caboodle. Like I said, it's standard and basic, but it is handy for just as a foundation for what you're doing to build on then more of what you want. And of course, before you start all of this, what you have to do is just make sure you've got the Tempest inventory system turned on as a plugin, and of course the Tempest combat framework. If you have both, and you're in their Discord verified, you will. There is a sample project that has these two systems combined, but I've just got them here separate here just to show you how easy it is to actually even set up when they're separate. And one more plugin that you'll need is just the motion warping. That's the only 3 plugins you'll need. Install them, reset. And first thing we'll do is we'll start with the player character, the locomotion system. And core basis of what we'll do here is we'll just take the follow camera and their boom camera, delete those. And remove that. Delete all of that. And all of that. That's just all to do with the basic inventory system that comes with the locomotion system. You won't need that because we're about to get a much more advanced inventory system. So you can take all that away. Then we reparent this blueprint to the third person character blueprint. I'll have a couple of errors here. I'll show you how to fix them in a minute. The third person character that we are parenting this one to is this one here. As you can see, it's this will be the blueprint that is in any of the sample projects you get once you're verified with if you own either Tempest or the combat systems. And as you can see, it's a child of a TCF master player character who owns a lot of their main features. Back to this one, we'll fix these errors. All we have to do is reattach the camera in any of these spots. Won't worry about tidying up the code, we can worry about that later. For now, we just connect it up to the right spots. There we go. basically it for the character's blueprint. As you can see, he's still doing all his movements. Everything's working. The only thing that doesn't work is the crouching, because the way the system has a few of their motion set up is by like their aiming and their crouching are set up by replicating, because the basic combat system supports replication, but unfortunately the Tempest system doesn't. So just remake the crouching and aim functions and you'll be fine. And now for the animation blueprints. All we basically need to do in here is copy I think it's three of these functions, these three top functions. So we'll copy that, paste. Copy this, paste. And the last one. There we go. As those last three, those are basically your standard movements, locomotion movement stuff. But all that is pretty much in the in this one. They're pretty much also already set up here, just in a slightly different way. But it's generally the same thing, so you don't need to worry about that too much. So we go to the event graph. Take this and this, copy, raise this up a wee bit, and then paste. Connect this up to the character and create that variable. Lastly, well, second to last, we take all of this, copy, paste that up there, make each of these variables. Compile. And the last thing we need to do is add the interfaces. There's three of them to add. It is the ALI procedural hit reactions, the BPI general interface, and the BPI TCF Tempest abilities and states. And go in there. And as you see, you still got all your movements. And to show that just how easy it was now to set up a Tempest, we'll put the sword and shield weapon on the floor. And go to world settings and set this to TCF game mode. We'll switch the character back to the player character. And we'll start. And there you have it. There's your TCF. The aiming and the blocking use the same buttons, so there's a bit of a confliction there, but that can be easily fixed yourself. Just remove the aim and switch their character, switch the inputs and whatnot. And as you can see, that is how easy it is just to get the basic core inventory system working. Simple, quick, easy, and it's done in like 10 minutes. That is how good the Tempest combat framework is. So now we'll add the inventory. And to do that, this part requires a couple of changes into some of the settings. Nothing too major. So what we will do first is take which one was it? Objects. Base pickup. Sorry, but this system is literally was released just a couple of minutes ago, so it's still trying to remember where everything is on it. We'll put the sword and shield item there. We'll just drop that in there and remove that one. Now, to add the inventory, basically just need to add components. TIS equipment. Inventory. There is a couple of other ones there. As you'll see, the scene capture is for the inventory, so you don't need to worry too much about that one. The attributes one you can add, but that's usually for standalone products that aren't using Tempest. If you're using Tempest Combat framework as well, you don't need to add this component. You don't need to equip this component because the Tempest Combat framework has its own attributes that it follows from. Compile that. Save all of this, because the next thing you need to do then is in the project settings. We'll open up the project settings. And we will go to game common inputs. And we will change this to the common UI input data. Platforms, Windows. Here where it says Windows, we will change this to generic, capital G. And 2 tabs here. One for the keyboard, and one for the controller. Then at the top here, we're going to all save and in view top again, we'll viewport. And here we just change this to the common game viewport client. That does require a restart. So we will give this a quick restart. Hopefully it should be ready pretty quick. So one last thing you will need to do as well before you start. I've already done it, but you take the if, like I said, if you have whenever you buy either the Tempest Combat Framework or the inventory system, if you go to their Discord channel, they do have simple projects with them combined. And for the inventory one, you just need to collect the gameplay tags that are in the config folder. Bring them over to your own project, as for instance, in this one, that's the basic locomotion. Just go into their config folder and just copy and paste. Just paste the gameplay tags that you got from the inventory into here, and it will give you the tags you need. So now this is restarted. We open these in case we need to. We shouldn't open it just in case. Then back in world settings, we now change TCF mode to TIS game mode, and put the character back to the player character. Start it up, and as you can see, you've got a whole new different UI here. Pick up collect the weapon, press, oh actually As you see, we've got it all set here, but I forgot one thing I did forget is on the initial setup. I knew I'd forget something. It's on the editor preferences. It should have been done at the start. So if you hadn't done it at the start, don't worry about it. It can be done now. It's not a major thing. You just up here, if you click stop. In the general shortcuts here where it says the play world stop, change that. Originally it's on the escape button. Just switch it over to the end button, because to open and close the inventory we press the escape button, and just to avoid the things, stop playing every time we press that. That can all be changed yourself later on if you want to change it to different buttons. It can, but for the sake of the initial startup, it's easier that when you press the escape button to try and open up your inventory, you don't just stop playing the game altogether. So just switch that, press it to the end button on your keyboard, and you should be all set. So again, start up now that everything's copied over. We'll go over, collect the weapon. You can see you've still got all your movements and turnings, strafing, the whole kit and caboodle. Press escape. Here we have your inventory. Character status with your scene capture. You'll have all your statistics, your inventories. Anyone who's played Elden Ring will obviously see quite a similar resemblance to this. So if we click on the sword and shield that we just picked up, on the inventory screen, you can see you can drop and discard it. You can go through all the various weapons and types you'll have as you go along. Swords, weapons. It works on armor as well. There's items. We go to our equipment, and we equip our sword and shield. Escape. Come out of that. Why is he not drawing the weapon? Oh, I forgot one thing. Well, another thing we'll say. But two things you will notice here. You will notice there is there's two health bars on the top on the upper screen, and we're not able to draw our weapon. Both of these things I'll show you how to fix. Simples pie for the controller. We just switch this to TCF base controller. That will fix the weapon not drawing. For the health bar, we just have to go into the weapons blueprints here. We'll double click this one just because it'll be easiest to reach. When it says spawn a weapon, we go to that weapon. It is drawing from the weapons of the Tempest combat framework, and they had a different HUD style for the inventory one. So we just have to disconnect that. So if like I said, if you're just restarting with Tempest combat, it'll only be these three weapons. So all you need to do is go into this weapon on the event graph and just disconnect that. That is just there to take it. That's just bring up your health HUD. Close all that down, and if you see here, start again. We'll go over and pick up the weapon. Escape. Equipment. Equip the sword and shield. Back we go. Hey, there we go. We hold down the R. And there's our weapon. And that is how quick and easy it is. There, in the space of what? 20 minutes, you've now got a baseline locomotion system, combat system, and an inventory system. Fully all set up and sorted then to rebuild however you like in about 20 minutes. quick, handy, easy. Hope everyone enjoys it, and highly recommend the Tempest combat system and the Tempest inventory system. So if you like them, do look them up. Get yourself an early Christmas present. Enjoy, folks. Bye bye.